When you think of stained glass, what comes to mind? The soaring windows of Gothic cathedrals? The decorative windows of arts and crafts bungalows? Well, the art form has been in vogue and out of vogue many times over. But there are still some people out there today who practice the lost art of stained glass. Bob and Patricia Nugent own Tiffany Stained Glass Limited. They've been creating and restoring stained glass for 35 years now. They've worked on everything from glass domes to residential windows.
Well, we are known for our historical reproduction lighting, as well equally as our restoration. And restoration products or projects are brought in from all over the country. Our lamps are historically accurate reproductions. In other words, they are lamps from almost a century ago. And the process from which we make these lamps are from the masters of years ago. And we actually have molds, and the glass is hand cut from a large sheet of glass, because each piece has to work into the other piece like a puzzle. And from this puzzle piece, we put them together on a light box. And many times after the lamp is cut, we decide to recut it so that the colors work well together.
So Bob, this window is part of a larger project, right?
This window is actually part of an old church in DuPage County where the old farmhouse structure was abandoned and the congregation moved into a larger new contemporary structure. Although the windows were considered valuable relics for the congregation to retain, we were hired to restore and refurbish these windows. This is a mosaic craft, and that means that each of the individual pieces of stained glass needs to be very meticulously and precisely cut to conform to a shape to create a composition as a whole. The leading in this particular window here was restored to be able to give it another 100 years of life. It was a late 1800s original design. We're going to let it live up to the 21st century.
It's beautiful, and I could tell each piece obviously is hand cut or hand crafted, like in the red lamp.
This is a mosaic craft, and each one of the individual pieces of stained glass has to be very precisely and meticulously shaped and formed to conform to the pattern overall. The technique to be able to define the shapes is referred to as grossing, and that's literally grinding with a pair of pliers to be able to achieve the very precise curves and shapes.
It is very precise, which leads us to the mold.
The mold is actually the surface on which this lamp is constructed. It's made of a fireproof fiberglass so that it gives the lamp its shape and defines the pattern. You'll notice that the lines that are inscribed into the mold here are actually like a road map for the assembler to follow.
They are like etchings almost.
And it's etched into that, and each line that it defines a shape corresponds to an individual piece of glass that needs to be cut precisely to that dimension.
So it's a very intricate process.
Extremely intricate.
It is the color that captures people's eyes, actually, I feel. And when some people just visit us to see the lamps, because we consider these museum quality, and people will come in and say, oh, is this antique? And we are complimentary, of course. And we sign each one of ours, and we do show them the signature. So now they know it's not a real Tiffany, but it's an antique reproduction. People come in, they want to touch our lamp. So we've got movement up here, we've got a lot of feeling up here, and then they are able to look at this. So you've got art at the top, and you've got a lot of detail art at the base.
Here's something cool. Bob can actually restore old stained glass to modern insulating standards for energy efficiency and security. So Bob, where does the glass come from?
We get our glass from approximately 10 different manufacturers, foundries that are all domestically producing sheet stained and opalescent style stained glasses that we use to manufacture our products.
And these are some of the patterns that you can use when you cut the glass?
These are very typical shapes and forms that we use to be able to cut the glass. Each one of them is made to a very precise shape and form, and the glass needs to correspond precisely to that.
So show me how it's done.
The pattern has to be held very tightly to the glass.
Should I back away?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, perfect. It's a perfect contour. You'd have to cut a lot of glass to make a lamp like that. It's nice to see someone keeping an art form like this alive. And when you're in a room full of stained glass like this, you really appreciate all the work that goes into making it.